Mary Joyce has a secret, and the guards at Mary Joyce are aware of this secret, but not aware of this secret. They just know that there's a secret, and there's a secret room, but they can't know what the secret is because it's a secret. But if you stumble across the secret, well, God help you, because now you're the secret, because they're gonna bury you and never tell anybody about it. That's what happens if you stumble across the Phantom Room.
Spooky!
And you know what resides in the Phantom Room? It resides in the Phantom Room.
The clown?
The cryptid. The Loch Ness Monster, and he'll ask you for tree fitting. No, not the Loch Ness Monster. Please don't copyright strike me, South Park. It was a joke. Listen, no, in all seriousness, though, there is a secret room in Mary Joyce, and the guards really are scared of it. And some guards go missing when they find this secret room. And this secret room has flowers and belongs to the ruler of the world named Imu, who shouldn't exist, but apparently does exist. And now we are going to do a lot of discussing about this ruler of the world that shouldn't exist, that secretly does exist, that everyone in the... Well, actually, I don't mean everyone. I mean the elders are trying to cover up. Otherwise, past the Gorosei, I guess nobody knows that Imu exists. So really, Imu is kind of just the king of the Gorosei, or queen of the Gorosei, it seems. And we're going to get into that in a bit, because Imu, I'm at this point fairly positive I know the identity of. I came up with a theory for this in my last video. Got called crazy by you and almost everybody else except one person.
It makes more sense now.
Hey, yeah, it makes more sense now that y'all see that what I said was correct. Because Oda is significantly pointing straight to the things that I pointed to in the spoiler video when we had a lot less information. And for the one person that said my theory was good, thank you. You are amazing. And I am so glad that I'm not the only person who actually thought that that was a good theory, because maybe it was a bad theory, but you know what? Clearly Oda might agree with us, and I'm not saying he does yet, but at the very least he agrees that Imu's last name, if that is your real name, Imu, is Nefertari, and we're gonna get into that and a whole lot more. But let's go ahead and get into the chapter, One Piece chapter 1084. Before we do though, my name is Richard, this is my wife Claire.
Hello.
Welcome to One Piece of a Dream. If you are new here, if you are not, thank you so much for 100 subscribers. We hit it the day before yesterday, and it makes us feel amazing that there are actually people that want to listen to us talk about One Piece and have conversations with us about our favorite series. It means the world to us. You guys have literally no idea.
Thank you.
Like, I tried to even... I had so few people to talk to about One Piece. I tried to get my mother and my dad to watch One Piece, and they were like, yeah, no, we're not watching something that long. Actually, my dad was kind of just like, yeah, I think I'll pass. My mom was just like, no, that's too long. I don't want to watch Japanese cartoons. That was literally the response I got. So, thank you guys for actually giving us some people that we can converse with about this. Now, enough of this. Let's go ahead and get into the actual chapter. The chapter is titled The Attempted Not-Aliving of a Celestial Dragon. I'm going to wait to say the actual chapter name until later in the video so YouTube doesn't throttle this video to the end of the earth and we never find it because we're buried in the YouTube algorithm. And that being said, let's go ahead and get into the actual chapter. The chapter begins with cover art, and the cover art is oh, so beautiful.
It's very nice. I like it.
Extremely. We get a very sexy shot of Nami, Vivi, Robin, Bonnie even biting a fish.
Ulti's
Reiju.
there.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't think Oda was going to put Ulti there.
Oh, yeah, she really likes Ulti. And I can't really blame her. A lot of people do. But yeah, it's kind of weird that Ulti and Sugar and the bad One Piece girls are there. We don't have all the One Piece girls. I mean, where is Big Mom?
Oh my god.
Where is Kaido in his hybrid form
Kaido's
in a
not
two-piece? Drunk, splashing the girls, laughing maniacally, going like, why is that not in this cover art? Oda, what are you doing, man?
Maybe another time.
Just imagine what you could have done. It would have been so funny. But no, I'm just kidding. But at least female law. No, I'm just joking. I really would prefer... I like what we got, although I would prefer if Nami was actually in the swimsuit top instead of the regular top, because aesthetic reasons. Yeah, reasons. And also, hey, before we move on, think about this. Reiju is there, and Bonnie's biting a fish. What if that fish was poisonous like the one that Luffy ate? Now, I'm not saying it is, but what if it was? And what if Bonnie got the poison and had to be rescued? And Reiju had to save her the way that she saved Luffy. Huh? Come on, shippers, draw it. That's a lot of pink. Come on, I know you want to. Come on. I want to see the fan art. Anyway, let's go ahead and hop into the actual chapter. The chapter begins with Sabo beating up some Celestial Dragon guards, burning them to a cinder, meeting with Bonnie after he rescues her, and basically what did you just do?
I said crispy.
Okay. Beating up the Celestial Dragon guards, meeting with Bonnie after rescuing her, as I said, and essentially they have a conversation. Bonnie has been keeping tabs on the revolutionaries, and she knows that they have the same goal as her, and basically they agree to do the thing they were already there to do. Bonnie says she's going to go to Egghead to try to get Vegapunk to turn her father back, and if not, she is going to participate in elder abuse. And Sabo says he is going to go get keys to save slaves and save Kuma. So one is going to do the most ethical thing, the other is going to beat up her sort of surrogate grandfather. Kind of. Family friend that happens to be old. I don't know what I was getting at with that, okay? He's known Bonnie since she was a child. For all we know, maybe Kuma and Vegapunk are related. They're not related. I'm just being stupid.
He could be an adopted grandfather, I suppose.
I'm joking. Honestly, don't take that seriously. I swear I was joking. But anyway, let's move on here because they actually end up in the rafters, and Sabo is holding Bonnie princess style because she's a princess, and for all you shippers out there, again, you have more material to work with. I don't really care about seeing that one, but you have it, and ultimately they're listening in on the Celestial Dragon guards, and the Celestial Dragon guards are talking about the thing I talked about in the beginning of the video about the secret of Mary Joyce, and how they some of the guards, they thinned out basically because they stumbled upon the secret room of the Phantom Room, which has it in it, and they saw it, and now they're no longer with us because it destroyed them, because Imu apparently doesn't care about these foot soldiers.
Kind of silly, to be honest, because when you think about it, them destroying the soldiers is also destroying their defenses.
Well,
or at least they're scouting.
Look, I picture Imu and the Gorosei and the Holy Knights all being so overly, powerful. Yeah, they're good for scouting, that's about it, but I see them...
Yeah, powerful or not, they can't be everywhere at the same time.
But how do we know Imu doesn't just have some, crazy, mantra, or observation hockey, similar to an elf, and can just see everything that's going on?
What if Imu has echolocation?
Well, actually, we know Imu doesn't, because as we get further into the chapter, Imu uses a Denden Mushi to spy, so obviously Imu doesn't. But that's actually what's happening in the panel after this, is when Cobra is having his meeting with the Gorosei. And we're going to go over that, but we're going to go and move on to Shirahoshi first, because I want to cover the whole King Cobra situation in its entirety.
All at once.
Exactly.
Easier that way.
Yes, it is. But let's go ahead and cover Shirahoshi, because Shirahoshi is being, attemptingly kidnapped. St. Charles is an ass, okay? He's a dickhead.
He just doesn't learn.
He's trying to kidnap Shirahoshi again. And
I'm really sick of this guy, to be honest.
Yes. Ultimately, this is what goes down. Mosgard says, yeah, you could hit him. Not you, though, because you're her brother. You have too much to lose. Leo, Sai, take it away. You don't have countries or pirates. Whack! And that's the end of St. Charles. He is now a flattened accordion. Also, Morley shows up out of nowhere from basically the ground. It has a similar power to the swim fruit, as we know. Shows up out of nowhere and rescues Kuma with a bear hug. Yep, while in tears. Oh, and all those people throwing offers at Shirahoshi to marry me. I will protect you and give you all the wealth.
They're running away.
Yeah, they're like, she won't accept our proposal anyway. Run away. So it's basically what happened with that. And I know I probably missed a couple of details there, but really it's not super mega important. And I know supposedly that's important because it's the name of the chapter, but I don't think that's the Celestial Dragon that Oda was referring to. Maybe in part, but I think that's just the front, because I think this chapter has a double meaning, and we are going to get into that in just... Well, right now, actually. We're going to get into that right now. Because we are going to talk about the Imu Cobra Gorosei situation, as Imu is listening in on a Denden Mushi to this conversation from the Phantom Flower Room. And the Gorosei are playing Stonewall 5D chess. And this is what's going on. Basically, Cobra's like, hey, so I read some books. Gorosei's like, okay, yeah, you read books. And Cobra's just like, so the books said I had a relative who lived 800 years ago. The Gorosei like, go on. And this relative's name was Lili, similar to my daughter Vivi. Apparently, me and her parents, I know we're in the same family, but we have good taste in names. The Gorosei are like, yeah, okay, where are you going with this? And then he's just like, well, you see, Lili was one of the founders of this place, Mary Joyce, the world government, and it just so happens that she never came home. And I wanted to know if you guys knew why, because, well, there's a few things.
Honestly, it's just a little sus.
It's a little sus, and I gotta bring up a couple things before I let you guys answer me. First of all, the 19 swords in front of the empty throne, by the way, I brought this up in that last video I mentioned. The 19 swords in front of that empty throne, Yeah, there's one missing, and that one missing sword was actually Alabastus, because we didn't accept the offer to be Celestial Dragons. Lili was supposed to place that sword. And by the way, the sword's it's in Imu's room, if you didn't figure that out yet. The 19 swords, I brought that up in the last video. Yeah, it was Alabastus' sword, which means that Imu, at the very least, if it's a descendant of Lili, is Nefertari. Also, we get a silhouette of Imu, well, not Imu, we get a silhouette of Lili, who happens to look an awful lot like Imu, have similar shaped eyes, because we do, which is kind of rare for One Piece terms sometimes, is to get to see accurate looking silhouettes like that with eyes, because Oda very clearly drew like armor and stuff on this woman, so clearly this is an accurate looking silhouette. We just don't see the full face, but you can see the outline of it. You can see quite a bit of stuff there, so I'm assuming this one's probably more accurate.
There's a good amount of detail for a silhouette.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder why.
Well, it's probably because Imu and Lili are likely the same person. Lili somehow obtained immortality and is now ruling the world as Imu under a fake name as a secret ruler, and we're going to get to more of this in a second. At least I think either that or it's one of her demon spawn ruling the world as, you know, an ancestral thing, which is a possibility, but I think that Imu is just immortal and the Gorosei are immortal. But we'll talk more on that in a minute. First, let's finish the conversation between Cobra and the Gorosei. Now, where did I leave off? Oh, yeah. Cobra is talking to the Gorosei, and he says, okay, look, so the 19 swords, yeah, we put them there basically because we didn't want anybody to sit on that throne. That's the throne that's always going to be empty, because if you sit on it, you're a dictator, and we don't want little dictators here. And do you know what they said? Well, of course. Where are you getting at with this, sir? And essentially, he's just like, well, do you know where Queen Lili went? And they're just like, that was 800 years ago, to be blunt. No.
Fibbing.
Yeah, and then he's like, okay, well, do you know what the Will of D is? Because Lili penned a letter, and this letter was passed down through generations of my family, the Nefertari family, and also it's brought up that out of all the families, the 19 that did become Celestials left their kingdoms to be Celestial Dragons. So they actually left their kingdoms, came up there, and let new families take over their nations. The Nefertari family is the only family not to switch out. Instead, Queen Lili's brother, when Queen Lili never came home, is the one that took over the throne. And Queen Lili, instead of just disappearing, I am going to plant my foot on this, did take over as Imu or Lili, whatever, regardless. Lili at one point was the ruler of the world. She was, if she isn't still, in Imu's position. And Lili, being in that position as at least a ancestor or currently standing in that position, was the one to place that sword of Alabasta in the flower room. That is what that sword is. She's also very, very short. You could kind of tell by height references. She's small. She likes a big crown because it makes her feel taller, I guess. Anyway, continuing on with what I was saying, the Will of D. This gets Imu's attention. Imu decides, I am going to walk into the throne room, and I'm going to sit my happy ass down, say the word Lili, and sit on the throne right in front of Cobra.
It's kind of funny, because when Imu was walking in, the Gorosei were like, no, what are you doing? Don't come in here, Cobra's still here.
Yeah, great Imu, what are you doing? Why are you not in hiding? You're the ruler of the world, but you can't leave your room. This is terrible.
Please stop.
You're grounded. I mean, no, you're not grounded. You're the ruler. It's like, you know, they're acting like it's their child or something, like they're guarding it. I'm getting hard music and merry vibes. But seriously, the Gorosei freak out. Imu comes out, just sits down on this throne, plops her butt down, and then it just says she sits on the throne without hesitation. Cobra's face is like, just shocked. Cobra doesn't know what to think. He's seeing Imu sit down on the throne without hesitation. Nobody's supposed to be doing that. And ultimately, what this means to me is that not only do we get the details that match up, like I said in the last video, with the swords, we get the details with the history. I mean, I'm thinking now that Lili could have been alive during the Void Century before coming to here and maybe had a relationship with Joy Boy. It went sour, then she went to live on Mary Joyce, and then ended up becoming the ruler of the world. I don't know. There's got to be some explanation here, or maybe not. Maybe they weren't. Maybe it's just a beef they had. Maybe there's some other thing. Maybe she is the god of the sea. Maybe she quite literally is the god of the world. Literally. But ultimately, I think that Imu might have some form of godly power, whether she got powers from the Appi Appi no Mi to be immortal, or found it some other way, and maybe created them out of the ocean or something like that. I don't know. Some crazy form of power during the Void Century that continued into the century we're in now that allowed her to live forever, which is why she became the ruler of the world. Ultimately, also, her family's the only one to continue ruling a nation, which the other Celestial Dragons did not. They just stepped up to marry Joa. They're kind of like fake rulers. They think they're ruling when they're not. And ultimately, Don Quixote del Flamengo his secret. If he has known about Imu, even though no one else was supposed to know about it, or at least heard it from a rumor or something, it would then make sense that this could be the secret of Mary Joyce that the elders wanted to hide, the Gorosei. I mean, there's so much here that could be speculated on with this.
And there's a lot of it that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, quite a bit. Ultimately, the only thing we can come out of this chapter definitively, for the most part, saying Imu, let's just say Imu's the real name for now, not just an alias. I am going to say I am mostly positive Lili is Imu, but if Imu is a descendant, and it actually is Imu, that is this person's name, the last name is 100%, or at least 99.9% Nefertari. Unless this is like the person, yeah, either that or it's a relative or a person who actually killed the original Queen Lili or something like that, then stuck the sword there and forced it. I doubt that. Honestly, I highly doubt that. I think Queen Lili was just corrupt and then came in and took the throne. Also, one last thing. The thing with Cobra, since the Nefertari family is technically the ruler of the world and did come back and take the Celestial Dragon position, technically above that, they are higher than a Celestial Dragon. They are the world's ruler. They are actually all considered Celestial Dragons by rules of the Mary Joyce setup because King Cobra's last name is Nefertari, therefore he would also be a Celestial Dragon, which means that the title, since King Cobra, say the Gorosei or Imu, attempted to kill him after the guilty feeling, Imu came out and explained to one of her family members exactly what he wanted to know before offing him, or at least attempting to, would then feel guilty enough that Imu may then actually spill the beans and then try to off a Celestial Dragon, who doesn't even know he's a Celestial Dragon until this conversation takes place. I think that is ultimately the real meaning of this title, because King Cobra, whether he knew it or not, him, Vivi, all the Nefertari family is all Celestial Dragons, and now the Gorosei and Imu, well, they're going to have to go and wipe out their entire family and pull an Itachi, because apparently they're going after Vivi now, and I'm thinking that King Cobra lived. I think King Cobra lived.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think Morgan's was wrong. I think King Cobra's still alive, told Vivi the information, went into hiding. Vivi's now into hiding. They're just not together because it's too dangerous, and ultimately, I think Imu is now going to target Alabasta, despite the history and the fact that it's Imu or Lili's home country, and I think that this is going to result in the Straw Hats possibly having to somehow go back to Alabasta, or at least pick up Vivi after this crazy war is over that's going down on Egghead. We are going to see some crap go down. Anyway, that's all we got for you in this video. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like, share, tap subscribe, tap notification bell, and maybe watch another video popping up on the screen right about now. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys again for 100 subscribers.
Thank you.
That's all we got for you guys. Peace.
Bye.